Great. Okay. Hello and welcome to the timeline part of EB Academy. Great. So pretty much in this space of EB Academy, we will be talking about the timeline during your EB experience, more specifically operations timeline, so OGX and ICX wise, as well as other focuses that you should have within the different quarters of your EB term. In general, for this, even if you're not VP operations, it's very important for you, of course, to know operational timeline, first of all, to plan your own plans. And second of all, also simply to understand as part of the EB, how are we running operations. So you know already these two timelines from Taco, but I would like to go in a bit more in detail as well, in case you were not present in these functional area spaces. So let's start with OGX. So OGV in our case, you can see here that the main part of the experience, so main realization peak for summer, is July, August, and a bit into September. So if we're looking at backwards planning, that means that the people mainly should be approved latest by the end of May. However, approval peak globally is April, and it's very important that we're as much aligned as possible to the global peak, as that's when main opportunities are also actually opened. You can see that attraction for this is online ongoing, and for attraction on ground, it is happening always when university is not on a break, so when you can actually be there on ground. In general, for this, of course, even if you have a peak for consideration, if you have a peak for preparation, if there's people in the funnel, obviously they're being converted based on normal process time. But in general, in the timeline for planning, main realization of experience or realization part will happen in July. Preparation, according to this before, latest people should be approved in May. This means main attraction part, as we as well know from YAS survey, that people are thinking early to go on exchange, January, March, and as well for in April. When we look at winter peak, you can see that main people will be can already start going abroad in November up until January, depending on when they're finishing their university and when they are available. So as you can see here, that through the summer months, we already having preparation and actually approving people from June on for winter peak, and you're doing actually consideration up until November, and then from November on, it slowly starts to be summer again. Let's take a look at ICX. So ICX is encompassing all three products, as some of our LCs are running IGV or IGT. But here the main focus is, of course, as well on Empower Austria IGE, where you can see the realization peak will be June, July, August, September, in a more flexible manner, depending on the AR partners that will be chosen for this part of the process. In order to have our people visa-wise here in June, the visa, so summer peak preparation needs to latest start in April. If they're arriving in July, then latest in May. So at least to have full of 4 weeks in between. In general, for this, as well with global approving timeline, it is important that most of our opportunities are approved in latest by third week of April. So main approving peak will be late March and April. And as you can see here, for attraction is already starting in January for summer peak, in February, and last open should actually be here in March. So as you can see now, this will be happening with current membership. And then if we're looking for winter peak, you can already see that attraction is starting in June, July, August, September, and will be going until October. Here you can see, of course, that then consideration is happening as soon as these opportunities are opened. But again, main approving peak will be October, slightly going into November. So this means we're slowly adapting to the global timeline as well, and to make sure that we actually can get the supply of EPUs that our market is demanding. Winter peak realization will start in January, so that means as well that preparation needs to start latest in November for every single EP. And as we were mentioning before, consideration, so approving is happening mainly in October. Cool. Let's move on then to focuses by quarter. As you can see here as well, From this term on, we will be not having our quarters based on calendar year anymore, but it is based on how you're starting your term, because this means that LC and MC term is aligned with always having 2 quarters of each other's term fully inside our term. So that means, for example, that MC Impulse has 2 quarters within the new EB's term, so in your EB term. If we look at quarter 1, so the first 90 days of your term, you can see, based on the timeline from the last slide, that in both OGX and ICX, it will be attraction and consideration as a focus, so approving and opening of operations. And when we look at your EB tasks or bigger things that are happening in your EB term, is that you will be having monthly and quarterly review, as in every quarter, in order to stay on track, to make sure that actually KPI-wise we're achieving our goals for summer peak. Conferences that will be happening are FEPCO, EuroExpro, and NATCO. FEPCO being a conference focused as well on preparation for summer peaks, but summer peak in terms of attraction. EuroExpro's international conference hosted this year in Turkey, where you can build, first of all, IR, but also get in contact with global level and getting knowledge downskilled from this side. NATCO, however, then will this year be in April, focused on value delivery for summer peak, and most likely the first national conference as well for new members. So there it is important as well how you as EB are presenting and leading your local committee within the national planning. Looking into Q2, so May till July, you can see that last preparations are starting, and it will be the main realization peak actually. So experience will be a big focus, on value delivery as well. If we're looking on the EB side of responsibilities, we're again having, of course, monthly and quarterly reviews, but also at the end of July, there will be replanning happening to make sure that our plans are adapted and also specified for winter peak according to the next MC strategies as well. For this, that's why also DISCO, so an EB conference will be happening at the end of July, which pretty much is already led by the next MC to ensure as much continuity as possible, so that summer peak can be delivered in the best way possible, but also winter peak can already be prepared. Then when we're moving into Q3, so quarter 3, it's from August until October, and here the whole cycle starts again. So we have OGX and ICX attraction consideration, in the EB monthly and quarterly reviews, as well as EB selection. So in early September, LCPs will be chosen and elected within your LCs, and then shortly after that, EB VPs will be started to be selected. So actually almost half a year from now, from you starting your term, your successors will be selected. In Q3, there is GOCO, as well as a commission conference, to make sure that people are aligned, and you are actually having task forces that are boosting the exchange within your commissions, as well as ALPS, as a first national conference for the big recruitment in October in order to onboard everyone, and also as the last national conference for outgoing EBs. When we're looking at Q4, this is from November till January. So there, what you can see as well is preparation for the experience and the experience itself. So realizations for winter peak will be starting in January, and maybe some last approves will be happening. And if you remember from the timeline before, already attraction for summer is starting again in December and January. What does this mean for EB? So you will be having your last monthly and quarterly reviews, your team closing, and as well very important transition in order to make sure that the legacy that you as a team are leaving is carried on to the next generation to make your LC and ASIC and Austria grow even further. For this specifically, this pretty much means, as you can see, that in the that your first summer peak is already decided up until April. So if you remember as well what we had from Taco, your first 90 days, this is where you're planning to win, and where you're especially already planning to win your summer peak, because otherwise it will be hard as well to catch up still with your weekly goal. I hope that you're having a bit more of an insight of how the timeline is looking like in both OGX and ICX, as well as within the EB team. If you have any questions, you can let me know on Slack or as well here in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you got something out of it.